Simone, and this is Nicole, and my cousin Tony, and Leanne's partner. So I wanted to talk about the box because it relates to this actual exhibition, and it'd be a nice way to open the... Is it open? Yeah, so go in and have a look after this. But I wanted to bring this around back to the actual short story because I'm pretty sure a lot of you have not read it. It's quite a powerful, moving metaphor, and it's only probably about a page and a half. And I said it for my students because they don't read. So students do not read every year, less and less they read. So, but with the box, they always read the box, the concrete box. So the concrete box is what I think it's such a strong imagery for students when they are actually trying to understand what it's like to be Aboriginal and in Australia. So hear me when I tell you about the story of the concrete box. It's a story about the Australian Aboriginal people's suffering since European arrival, as witnessed and lived by its author, Phyllis Griggs Maris. It is a story that has powerful symbolism that reflects the state of Aboriginal people, hopelessly locked in a perpetual, never-ending cycle of despair. Generations of Australia's first peoples forced to be refugees in their own country, tied to government policies in the form of welfare that provided no other way out except to negotiate for their food, for their home, for their land, and for their children and their families. They may have lost their lands, but for some they never strayed too far from their tribal lands. A people that were rounded up and taken away from their traditional lands and placed on early Christian-run missions and later relocated to government missions. The box outlines the horrible injustices of being Aboriginal in this country: overcrowding in houses, poor health equivalent to third-year countries, high incarceration, imprisonment, welfare, drug and alcohol dependency, hence the bars on the only window of the box. Sorry, I lost mine. On top of the box sits a white man who changes his mask from benevolent to indignant. This symbolises the racism in this country and the changing governments after each election and the changing policies imposed on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. The people are scared to talk loud in this box and to have their footsteps heard by the white man sitting on top of the box. And this symbolises the surveillance of police and managers of policies and government mission managers that separate Aboriginal people from their culture. The policies imposed upon Aboriginal people is what the box is about, and the failed government policies that are blamed on Aboriginal people themselves. She mentions money in the box, the money that our people seem to have a lot of: new cars, cheap home loans, and free everything. She mentions that Aboriginal people extend their hands in trust for the money, but the trapdoor is shut on their hands, cutting off their hope, their hands on wanting to participate in Australian society. The box is painted white tonight, but the story is one of evil, darkness and persecution. The darkness they experience in their lives under government policies and the racism from mainstream Australia is what Only Hillis writes about. The hundreds of stolen generations finding their way back to their family as children stolen from their families is an integral part of the box. Inside the box, you hear all these parents trying to protect and clothe their children. The mountains of keys that Only Hillis writes about symbolises the optimism that Aboriginal people have in the face of hopelessness, but their strength and identity, survival, resilience, kinship and community is what holds them together. The Aboriginal resistance against government policies has been entrenched within each Aboriginal society. Their resilience is seen today in changing the date, marches, reconciliation, and the many young generations, black and white and of all cultures, that are supporting Aboriginal people today. The leaders Arnie refers to in the box are all the strong leaders of the Aboriginal people over generations since the 1910 Aboriginal people that marched and protested against governments in every state and territory. Negotiating, representing the intelligence of the elders is what holds us together as a people, and we as a people recognise the history and culture and the work that our Aboriginal elders have done for us. The key Oni Hills believed in is the power of education for Aboriginal people. To take back what is theirs through their culture, she established Warrawa Aboriginal Secondary College at Hillsville with an Elders Council to guide and direct the curriculum. And Zita here has played a major role in supporting her sister and is still connected on the board as an elder of the college.